Hello and Allahu Akbar to all of you, to all the people of the planet, Baha'is, non-Baha'is, everyone. Tonight I'm starting the last part of the third book, basically. The first book was philosophy. The next one was relationship of a human being, the definition of a human being, the 7 things that we do as a human. And then the third book was the relationship of man to others, which was the one to our spouse, to children, to parents, to immediate family, to friends, to our city, to our country, and the last one is our relationship to the world, to the planet. And this contains an introduction to, I'm speaking tonight, and tomorrow I'll be speaking some papers that I wrote some 15 years ago. Contains the word of Shobi Effendi, and then followed by an epilogue, and we're going to be finishing this series. I promise that I will have a few bonuses on video on how to learn Persian, because that was a part of what was frustrating when I didn't know English. And then I'm going to translate the poems of Baha'u'llah, and probably we'll end it there. So today when we ask somebody where you're from, if it's outside of our country, it says certain country. If you're asking within the country, he usually says certain province. And if it is in the province, they say from certain city. Nobody seems to say I'm from planet Earth. When they talk about their countries, you know, there's a lot of pride and a lot of attachment comes with it, but nobody feels I'm from planet Earth, you know. They don't seem it's ours, you know, it belongs to other people probably. And if somebody says I'm from planet, they look at it, this is a satire, it's an irony. Okay, they say, philosophically speaking. So you could say that a human being is not ready for this, to think that, okay, we need now a planet, because they are so much afflicted with their own countries, you know, especially in the West or in the East as well, that they can't, you know, unify a country and the people that they speak the same language, same religion of them. But in reality, all the reasons for formation of the universal government is already here. Those reasons that we had in the past to create a village, a state, a province, a country, the same reasons, it's all the way 100 and thousands times more here to create a universal government. But nobody has understood these reasons at all. They look at it as an optional matter, something really irrelevant to their problem. So I'm not going to speak tonight about the governments and politicians and convince them. Politicians are actually the weakest and the most subdued of all the citizens of the earth. Everything in their power is to get re-elected, really, and they stay in power. They have no more time to think about anything else. This is the problem of democracy in a way, because you're making them to work to be in the power. So they really don't have any more room left to think about other people. People are not able to distinguish and single out the real politician, that there used to be lots of them in the planet in the beginning. In one way, because most of them are poor. Democracy in the West, with the help of money, facilitate everything. and it'll take it everywhere you want. Who is going to find the real Abraham Lincoln to elect him? Those guys are there still. There's lots of Abraham Lincoln in the United States, tons of it. But as I said, money has been the criteria and the tools for the politicians, so they use that, therefore they mask people from the truth. So, especially media just works towards that completely. One of the guiltiest of them all are these medias, because they never bring up the real thoughtful individual, those who really think about the country. And they're not after election. They want to do things. Those people can never enter politics. They'll have no money to be introduced. They become laughingstock of the people. If this is within a nation such as the United States or even Canada, so how about the world? Nobody knows anybody in the world. Myself, I can't mention too many good people. I know few, of course, all over the world, but it's not nearly a good list of them. Those who have done things for humanity. So, and this is one of the reasons that people do not understand Baha'u'llah, because he was international, because he was thinking about the planet Earth as a whole. So, this work, practically, is in the hand of the Baha'is, which, for now, because of the pressure of the material attachment and interest, they're all in disarray. If I look in the world, I'm looking at it under my microscope. I might say that China would be one of the countries that could do anything about this, because the whole country is based on the philosophy of the Mao, is one organized, organic being. So there is an organization there. Government there can make the whole nation to move. And democracy of the West, you can't do that at all. You know, this guy, for the price of the democracy, they don't have the organization, and those guys, for the price of the freedom in the China, they do have an organization that can do something. Other groups are people that have money, you know, artists, mostly in Hollywood, and some of the scientists. They've done a few things, and there's no real leadership. They're just, you know, shooting in the dark, because none of them have understood the Baha'i faith and Baha'u'llah as the only leader, really, that has revolved his entire fate over this universal government business. So, in spite of all of this problem, you could say there are people, as I said, of them. Like, I liked to hear George Clooney was trying to do something in satellite to photograph the people in Darfur when they're hurt, or Mr. Bono that is trying to do things in Africa, or our Bill Gates, you know, that they're seriously trying to help people. Or the movement such as environmentalism, that there's some international movement and international interest, you know, or steps taken towards this, like unification of Europe. But there isn't a real organization that really is promoting this and thinking about this, and this is its, you know, main interest. It's only the Baha'is that they preach and they talk about the universal government. It's a part of their religion, you see. No one in the earth can really claim as an organized, the grassroots that is thinking about making the world as one country. But the Baha'is, the way they talk about this, is such a far-reaching goal for them, that they think that a sudden energy must come, to change things around, or some spiritual power of Baha'u'llah must come and organize this. It does not seem something that they can ever do it. They cannot even fathom how it should be done. Because it's such a big task, you see, thinking to organize this world, which is in such a disarray right now. Tonight, I'm going to talk to the Baha'is that actually can do that. It may look a small number, but there are some serious work has been done by the Baha'is from the beginning till now, and it's being done right now. The real Baha'is are, languishing right now in Africa, in Southern America. They are teaching the faith in those areas. Those are huge pillars, And unfortunately, Baha'is, they do not know them. They don't know the present active list of the Baha'is that are pioneering and are teaching. Baha'is, actually, they don't know that. It's a really sad situation, So, can the Baha'is do this? Yes. Although they're very small, yeah, it can be done. Believe me, the whole thing that makes this big, huge computer to work is in a small chip. Take that out, doesn't work. Baha'is are that. They can do it. I learned when I was young a few lessons, or I heard, I should say, to see what Karl Marx, of the Marxist founder, was saying. He's always talking about two opposite forces that are interacting in the society. And they are the reason why the revolution, he says, it happens. Those theses and antitheses, as he calls it. And he says there's an outside force that triggers it and causes that to happen. I remember he says, for example, the Russian Revolution was the opposition between proletariat, the workers, and the capitalists. And this opposition was working, interacting, was going to cause the new syntheses to come. And the war of Russia with Germany was the external force that caused these things to happen, evolves. They say even proton and electron, because of their opposition that they have, one is positively charged, one is negatively charged, in the environment, proper cooling down of the temperature in the universe, they were united as an atom. So temperature was an outside, reason, work for that. Just looking at this argument, today the world of humanity is that primordial soup that the life is ready to begin. In this case, the formation of the universal government. What has to be triggering it as an outside force? Trust me, they're the Baha'is. Because this is something has to happen. But Baha'is are already there. They already understand universal government. They are outside of this primordial soup. They know what's going on. They have to trigger it. And they have to be just a small number, really. It is just like this world is like, as it is said in the Bible and in the Baha'i faith even, this, the simile they use is the pregnant woman. It just needs the midwife to take the baby out. Again, they're the Baha'is. It is like a television. It's like a gift that went to some tribe, ancient tribe that had never seen TV in their life. And no one knows how to work. Baha'is are that outside force that they have the switch. They know what to push to make it to work. So, Baha'is are that. It's very important. Don't look at your small number. God has sent me to tell you your responsibility, okay? It's a historical responsibility you have. That is a huge things can happen from you. You gotta understand, this is a huge task. It's a very important part. So, as an individual, you cannot fathom it. You can't say, how could that happen? Because every one of you carries the piece. But when you assemble together, in the name of Baha'u'llah, to go to teach the faith of God, within you, all of a sudden, that truth sparkles right out. It's the talisman. It's in all of your hand. All of you have the pieces of it. It's just that you have to know how to put it together. How to put it together? If you come together to create a good company to make money as a Baha'i, you're a failure. Get together to create some good politics, you're a failure. Environmental movement, failure. Show when this is. Let the good work be done by others. You're made for something else. You're the pieces of a different part of this jigsaw puzzle. You are made to teach the faith of God. Let others do their works. You have to do yours. If you understood Baha'u'llah as the center, and it is the magic wand, you have to get together. When you're getting together to teach, to promote the cause of God, yes, my friend, you are the superpower. But each one of you is a part of it. Superpower is made out of you and assembled. You see? You want to test it? I'll tell you. One of you go 1 week to teach and the faith, go downtown, put pamphlets, try to talk to somebody. I always believe in experiment, Now, get another person. Say, okay, John, let's get together. Let's do the same thing all over together. Boom. All of a sudden something happens, and then you see what I mean. Then you understand when Baha'u'llah says only 2 people is necessary to change the whole city. This is not philosophy when he says that. It's guaranteed. If it doesn't work, tell him, Master, I'll leave you. You said something was lie. It didn't work out. Quite honestly. Take him for face value when he says that. It's not another illusion. This is not Bible, that everything means something else. No. Baha'u'llah says 2 of you get united wholehearted, you can be enough for the city. I've done that, it worked. So do it and then you see. Now imagine if 2 becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, what can it do? You think a herd of 1,000 ships, how many shepherds does it need? 1. Doesn't matter how big the numbers of the people are on the earth. You are the shepherd, you see. You can gather things around because you have a different aspect of humanity, a spirituality. See, they don't have that. So this is what you have to do. Now, practically, where do we start? It has to be in Canada. I'll tell you that right now. Promises. Abdul Baha says the future of Canada is spiritually and materially is great, big. I'm the elder of God. I came here. It says North Americans are the inheritors of the conquerors on high. I am the conquerors on high, guys. I am the elder of God. I came here in this country. So there are huge promises here. And when you look at it intellectually, it's one of the most important countries in the world, Canada. Except for the last few years, always has been #1 country in the world. But it's got a small population. It's very easy to take it over in the name of truth. You see? So that country has to be Canada, in my opinion. So it can be done everywhere, but concentrate on one place, all the Baha'is of the world. With the headship of universal laws of justice, I hope they come around sooner rather than later. And I told you how you start it. You do not go on the TV and talk about all what you want to do. Just do it. Let others to talk and report what you're doing. You don't need to report what you're going to do. Go on and do it. And then the newsmakers come to you. They take it up themselves. Advertising the faith of God is not going to work. This is not an object to sell. Okay? It's not. It's like a fire. You have to touch the man, then he gets enlightened. Abdul-Baha says, get rid of the media, even books. All of it has to be the reason so you get in touch with that guy. When you did, you're done. Medias are out. As soon as you talk about Baha'u'llah to him, you yourself becomes more powerful. And out of that power he joins. Then the issue becomes big. In no time, in a city of Saskatoon, let's say in the middle of Canada, imagine, what's 5 Baha'i? I can get them in 1 week. 5 in no time becomes 50. 50 gets faster, becomes 500. But there has to be organizations, as I said before, last time. The 500 is on the way to becomes 5,000. Then the city is moved, it's shaken. Then it has spread from that city to other cities already. But once the city hits 5,000, it's no time it's going to hit 50. Then the Baha'i government is established in one city and the first local House of Justice is formed. Then before you know, the province is gone, but the other province is already in the way. Then the national politicians are interested to come in. All of these things is like a domino effect. If you understand it, it'll go fast. It is exactly like the formation of the sun and the space. Remember the prime directive I told you? The spiritual realm and this physical realm are side by side. They're like counterpart of each other. Okay? The first, particle to attract other particle takes maybe sometimes millions of years. But once that's done, the process starts. Then it goes on and on and on and on. You see? Once you start mass teaching, always stop as a Baha'i side taking. Do not take sides. In Iran, Baha'is, they were all siding with the Shah of Iran and the government of Iran. You couldn't even talk against the government. And I myself was one of the people that were against the Shah and against the system. So I became Baha'i naturally. I was saying, this guy is going to go. I remember my best friend told me that, you're telling me that this regime is going to fall? I said, absolutely. This is the last one of them is going to go. He said, if this issue goes to the intelligence service, they're going to put you in jail. I said, I don't care. This is what's going to happen. It happened. You see? So, but this side-taking was a problem. I came down here, in Canada, it was the same thing. Some of these board members, so-called, this agency from the central black hole, they were sent around the Baha'is. And they were bugging me that we were criticizing the United States of America. I said, I do. They couldn't see me that I'm against the tyrannical regimes in the world. And I said, the U.S. has done a lot of mistakes in the world. They didn't like it because they were side-taking, you see. And among the Baha'is even right now, everybody is siding with Israel. And they're against Palestinians. This is stupid. To be friend of Israel, which I am one of them, I would accept the citizens of Israel tomorrow if they give it to me. That doesn't mean because of my love towards the Israelis, now I hate Palestinians. No way. My love towards some nation doesn't mean that I'm against the other nations. Should not be like this, you see. If you are like that, then you're standing in front of Baha'u'llah and say that, Lord, I love your face, I hate your hand. Oh, I love your leg, but I hate your right leg. Oh, I don't like your toes. It's just exactly like that. We're all one, All of us. We have to understand that Baha'i love does not have a border. Seriously, you have to feel pity and compassion for everyone, for Chinese, for Indians, for Africans, for Anglo-Saxons, for Finlanders, for Argentines. Can you? Then you have a spread to have a Baha'i heart. Stop side-taking. There's no side-taking. Do not even take side between the Baha'is and non-Baha'is. That's again a grievous mistake. You know, like the Baha'is in Iran. They hate Shiites. I said, with all this hatred you have towards these people, how are you going to teach them? You can't, you see. So it can spread from one city very easily. And if Canada goes to that extent, United States is the brother, Anglo-Saxon brothers, my friend. They come in right away. Australia, New Zealand, England, right away. These 5 countries moving fast, I'll tell you that right now. The rest of the European are on the way. You know, it's not very easy to get China in there, or India, because they're much deeper than you think they are. They have a huge culture. So you have to then negotiate. At this time, there will be a universal government formed, but it's not a Baha'i government. I'll tell you that right now. They would not recognize universal laws of justice, basic religion, law, and whatever. But the Baha'is at that time, they have the upper hand. They will go and teach. And the other nations, they find within themselves they have a problem. The more and more the attacks of the materialism cause more and more imbalance in their system. There are a lot of suicides in them. There's a lot of drug addiction. There are divorces. There's stress. And then they find out the Baha'is are not having that. That is when it comes in, you see. So, what else I've written here? Well, some of you to think that I'm a smart guy, maybe even brilliant, but like everybody else, I'm suffering from hallucinations and imaginations, and I think this is not the way to go or whatnot. To brand me as a man who suffers from imaginations or things like that, you have to think really twice, okay? Listen to all these videos, and then you will see that I am not it. What do you think? I'm 55. I am the general of Baha'i. I just do not have my army around. I would do the task in no time. In fact, in 10 years, Canada will come. Because this country is Baha'i. I don't have to do anything about it, really. Because to me, Baha'i faith is a relative matter. It's an issue that we just have to recognize them, they're Baha'is. If you look at them as a Baha'is, they are responding. Canadians do. This is the top of the line, my friends. They have come here far. United States, Anglo-Saxons nations, is the nation that they have welcomed Abdul Baha, the envoy. Okay, a Baha'u'llah here. He was not killed or hit in France, but it was not definitely as welcomed as it was in England, as it was in the United States, or in Canada. Abdul Baha didn't go to Australia, New Zealand, but it would have been the same thing. This race is ready, you see, and it is what they have to do. But you have to overcome fear. You will not overcome fear unless you love the one that you're afraid of. You see, you're afraid of snakes, you have to love them. Then you take over. That love will make you to conquer the enemies. When you hate your enemies, love them. And then you will kill your enemy. Your enemy is not the person, it's the enmity in him. It's the wrong ideas he has in him. That is what has to be vanished, not the person. And love can do that. Serious love. You have to practice it. You don't feel love, start to give. Keep giving. As you give and spend and invest, then you start to like your investment. Okay. So this is a bit of a speculations that I've given you, and I've given you my readiness. I am ready to do it. I've been ready a long time. I just hope that as members of Universal Laws of Justice, which they're hallucinating truth, their mind is convoluted with what is called politics in the world, with what I understood wisdom in the writings, and they think by the mere election there's a seal of approval from Baha'u'llah on those individuals. They have to come along, see. If they understand and recognize the problem, because I'm standing at this moment in the history for what I'm being told. Actually, no letter has been sent to me when that I'm rejected. But Baha'is, they don't talk to me. Well, that's a sad state of affair, that the envoy of Baha'u'llah, the master of universe, who has sent me here, and is speaking to you by means of a louder called Abbas, and you rejected it. You don't understand it. The ignorance is one thing. It becomes multiplied in a huge number when it's accompanied with arrogance. Ignorance and arrogance, the bad soup. And it is a disease for all these people that they go towards religion. As soon as they start you learn something, you know other things that others they don't know, that immediately the virus of arrogance, bang, comes right in. You think you're better than others, your place is in heaven, others are not. And those are the problem. Please beware. I'm asking you, the more you teach, the more closer to Baha'u'llah you get. You have to find out you're not better or worse than others. You're just a part of the whole thing. When you're asking the demise of a person, asking Baha'u'llah to cut a part of his body, to throw it out, it's a painful thing you're asking God. Do not ask. If the person is doing bad, it's because he's been hated too much. Go love him, he will change. Love him because it's a part of you. Pardon my French, as they say. Somebody was telling me there are a lot of assholes in the world. I said humanity needs an assholes too. It's a part of the human body too, you see. Leave them alone. Baha'u'llah says there are wicked people. So don't associate with them. Simply because you don't know how to handle them. They're affecting you. Because it creates hatred in you. Immediately, just buzz off. Get out. Let somebody else to handle it. But if you keep loving them, they do change, yes. Yeah. It's hard. I gave you vaguely what to do, but if Universal Laws of Justice comes along, and they don't, because they're waiting for me to do something, I've done what I have to do, what I can do as a human being. The rest of you are my brothers, my sisters, my children, my fathers, my mothers. You have to come along to help me out. You know? Don't try to think I'm trying to say I'm better than you, because I'm not. Or you're too small, or you're too big. It's all a stupid thought in the faith of God. Just get on and do what you have to do. Your heart tells you that. Send letters to Universal Laws of Justice, even if you don't want to contact me. Get 20 of you together, write a letter. Tell them that we're not writing to you as covenant breakers. We're writing to you as this claim of a boss has to be dealt with. He is the elder of Baha'u'llah. You need tests, I shall perform. That's really stupid, for me to do anything extraordinary. But I know if it is necessary, Baha'u'llah will do that. One of these members of Universal Laws of Justice, I remember on the phone, talked to me that he was one of those personality. God knows him, I don't know. But his tone of voice that I know nothing. He said, yeah, many of these letters of the living, many of them, he said, they've all gone astray, which is not true. Only one of them really gone out. The rest of them, maybe they were wavered, but again, we don't know what happened to them. As far as we know, only the record, Baha'u'llah's cursed only one of them, not others. So, and it didn't take too long before he died. You see. He had another one in Vancouver, Mr. Mahboubi. He said to my brother, he is going to deal with me so vehemently, so hard. He got cancer and in no time they died. If you want to harm the envoy of Baha'u'llah, then if I'm not true, you're right. But if I was the true, slapping me, you're slapping the government of God, my friend, okay? Because Baha'u'llah knows I have no claim among the people of anything. I'm just a mailman, I'm bringing a message. But I do have power that I can do these things. By the virtue of that, I'm not any superior. I'm just a part that I can perform those things, you see. Every one of you, I'm sure, can do something that nobody else can do. All of us are unique for one particular part. Everyone was a unique cell. So that's how it can be done. It's possible. So it's not some utopian idea that you think, well, what to do? No. Bob started single. He had this 18 letters of the living. The matter spread. It came today to here right now. So you all know the elders of Baha'u'llah, there are 5 of them have to come. Has anybody claimed he's an elder? I haven't heard. The last letter of Universal Laws of Justice says 4 has to be recognized, which they thought there has to be 4, not 5. So that seems nobody has claimed these things. And I'm telling you, I'm the elder of Baha'u'llah. He told me so, and I produced my testimonial to you, who I am. So you have to come now help. I don't know, what are you expecting the elder of God to be? Some kind of a guy with a horn or some halo around his head? You know that's not true. All he is a man that he's passionately dedicated to the cause of God, which I have been in the past. I'm 55. God, I know I was 18 years old when I went to the Spiritual Assembly of Majidiyya in Tehran to sign as a Baha'i. Ever since, I don't remember a minute that I haven't been thinking about Baha'i. I'm a thinking machine, I can't stop even. It's always there. If I have to be talking about these videos one more time, it will be different stuff, because I don't remember what I said before. But I will not say something against what I've said before. That can never happen. It's always the same thing. But the question asking me is like typing in a computer. My data is connected to the internet and answers it. So there's no miracle. The miracle is that I'm a Baha'i, 15, 16 years under pressure, by calling me the enemy of Baha'u'llah. What a mistakes. I'm not so much worried about myself that I'm called an enemy. I'm worried about you, gentlemen, to committing such a mistakes. It's just not defeat you. You're better than that. Don't contaminate yourself with this kind of a statement and judgment. How am I enemy of Baha'u'llah? An enemy of the Baha'i faith? How? How is this possible? What criteria are you using? You see? Think about it. I'm asking you. Come to your senses, please. We could do it together. As long as there is love. The organization of the Baha'i faith does not work like military. One stands in front of the other ones. It doesn't. Not in here. Baha'u'llah says, even in the next world, in the next life, he says in 7 valleys, the degree of love it is so high that it has burned all the limitations. You don't know who is God, who is servant, who is king. They're all family members. When you're coming in, God is your father. Baha'u'llah, we call him the granddaddy of the universe. He never wants to succeed, become better than me. He actually says, no, I don't want to be. Everyone is trying to show servitudes, friendship, you see. Friendship brings everyone in the same level, become all one. The moment you come saying higher, lower, remember, you are not talking about the spiritual. You are talking about materials. Only materials can be classified as higher or lower. Spirituality cannot be. It's so homogeneous, you see. I go to God because he's superior? Not really. I just love him, that's why I'm there. I never think he's bigger than me. I want him to be bigger than me. I hate to be the biggest one. Absolutely, I hate that. I'd rather have models like Suleiman Khan and Tahira and Martha Root in front of me that I will think about them and get energy. I don't want them to come and say I am the biggest. Then whom am I going to look? You see? All right. It's turning into preaching. Time is 12 o'clock. I shall let you go. May Baha'u'llah be with you. Let's see what the result is. Before Christmas, there's 2 more. Next time, I'm going to be talking about this Universal Government in a paper that I said before. A lot of quotations of Shobi Effendi there. And after that, there's an epilogue, which, terminates this. And then I'll wait for a year to see what you guys do. After that, I'm told there's going to be a reprisal. So